Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 18th of October 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few of the charts, some of the charts that we looked at yesterday. But as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so also just a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD Research tab here, which you can always also check out on a daily basis, and I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here for yourselves. But for now, guys, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the FTSE 100. Now, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, and looking at this picture here, I mean, it continues to move sideways in an undecisive manner. We can also even say that it's currently stuck in a small little range here, roughly between the 7,140 zone and 7,250-52 area, approximately around there. So let me just quickly probably mark those for our future reference here. So this is where we're going to be keeping close eye on. So this is the upper side of this little kind of range, and this is the lower side of it. So in a way, for now, of course, as normally as these types of patterns occur, we need to wait for a breakout. So in a way, we're going to wait for this one to break either through the upper side or through the downside here. So if we see a drop below the 7,140 zone, then yes, we could see this one drifting further down. We could see this one maybe testing even the areas which were seen in the beginning of October, on the 3rd of October here. Closer to the psychological 7,000 level. So keep your eyes basically on those. In terms of the upside, if we see a push above the 7,252, then we will start looking at the upside, because still for us to get like a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, ideally we would like to see a push above the 7,280 283 zone, because this way the index would be placed above its 200 EMA as well. So that's why, guys, for now, probably monitor this level more. Then yes, we'll start considering higher levels above the 7,250, but just for that extra confirmation, a push above the 200 EMA could in a way do the trick for more buyers here. So that's why, guys, and then we will aim for the areas like the 7,441 or even above that. But for now, that's the game plan here so far. Again, this has been moving nowhere. We did have a strong pound, but as, normally we would see some stronger selling in the Footsie. But given that this was a unique situation here, because it's not data driven and it's mainly Brexit headline driven, the pound is. That's why the Footsie kind of stayed somewhat sidelined, and that's why kind of we are seeing this kind of no activity here whatsoever on the Footsie. So for now, like I said, that's why, guys, keep your eyes on some of these potential breakout points, and then we'll take it from there. Gold. We haven't looked at this one for quite a while, or should I say, in the beginning of the week I was looking at this one, but basically it continues to trade within the falling channel formation. That's fine. And what I was saying previously in one of my previous videos where I was covering gold, we needed to see a drop below the 1475 zone before we could examine further levels, further downside levels. we never had that. We saw the commodity kind of retracing back up here, but still kind of struggling to push above its 200 EMA or the psychological 1500 level. Now, the thing that I really don't want this to happen is, or should I say, what to happen is, if the commodity continues to trade here between these two levels, it would be basically trading in a range. Now, if it continues to trade in a range, it means that we could see some movement here, up and down, eventually until it kind of reaches the upper bound here of this falling channel, and then guess what? I mean, we could see that break here, and then basically, in other words, this break to the upside could be done through through some ranging activity first, and then we could see this one pushing to the upside. So for now, even though I do have my level here for the upside as the 1520, this breakout area, I might lower it if we see this scenario that I've just talked about. If we see the precious metal kind of ranging here, kind of going all the way and testing the this downside resistance line just by trading within this range, and then yep, if we get a break above this, then it will be quite interesting to see what it wants to do after. I mean, if this is going to be a change of the trend, this short-term trend, and we could see a move much higher then. For now, of course, another point to mention is that as long as it remains below the upper side of the falling channel, it has more chances to drift lower. The only thing, as I said, given this situation now, we will wait for a drop below the 1475 first before examining lower areas. Here we will remain neutral because, like I said, it could end up just moving sideways. DXY, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, and since last time, as you can see by some of these levels, it has drifted lower. Now, the interesting bit here that yes, I mean it drifted quite severely to the downside. Excuse me. Now, and it seems that it's aiming for these lows near the 97.17, the lows of August. For now, how we could look at this, of course, is first of all we can see that we determine the trend here, and we can see that the trend is to the downside. We draw this short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 1st of October, but at the same time we can see how it has distanced itself from this downside line. So in a way, we could see this one reversing a little bit higher here, maybe going for a bit of correction, which means that some other pairs could see some dollar strengthening basically against them, and we could see it in opposite direction that they're moving right now from where they're moving right now. So for now, long story short, basically, given this situation here, yes, we had a strong sell-off here already this week, so it drifted lower. It managed to reach an area near this one right here, near the 97.50, from which it rebounded and kind of pushed a little bit higher. So in a way, if you want to consider further declines, let's say towards the 97.17, wait for a drop below the 97.50. This way the index would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could target then this lowest point of August 23rd near the 97.17. In terms of the upside, now the upside probably could be a little bit more interesting, but again, we need some confirmation breaks. So in a way, how you could play this one out is, of course, initially today, keep an eye on the today's pivot point, which is around the 97.72. A nice good push above it could, in a way, lead the index towards its R1, which is around the 97.95. This could be an interesting level to watch. It's also near the one of the intraday, or should I say the yes, near an intraday swing low of yesterday, and if that gets broken, then we could see this one drifting further north. especially if it climbs above its 21 EMA here, shown as the yellow line, which, as you can see, continues to keep the price down. And this way, if we get a push higher above that, then we will consider a possible test of this downside resistance line. So in a way, all this move higher could be seen as part of a larger correction, because as long as it remains below this downside line, we will continue overall to the downside. So yes, from the very, very short-term perspective, we could see this one climbing a little bit higher. Especially if it pushes above the 97.95 zone. But like I said, overall, yep, we could see still some downside as long as it remains below this downside resistance line. So keep your eyes on that one. USDCHF, this is just a quick update on what's happening here. So yesterday I talked about this one in my Traders Tea Time, and basically this was the idea that we threw out on our account here at JFD Research on TradingView, and basically for now it's working out nicely. So yes, we did get a close below the 0.99 zone. It initially broke to the downside nicely, closed below it, and it seems that it continues to drift lower. Now our target is not far. It's only around the 0.9848, 45 zone, approximately around there, guys. And now if something like this, and well, basically in our situation here, the thing is that basically, I do apologize, guys. I'm having some technical issues here. So coming back to the pair, given that we are already in profit, we will probably shift our stop loss right here, guys, basically just to kind of break even in case this suddenly reverses against us. Yes, we might lose our profit, or it may even overshoot this one and come back down again, but to be honest, we rather be safe than sorry. And that's why, guys, for now that's the game plan that we're gonna have. This is the situation how we're gonna play it. Like I said, we like to be safe rather than sorry. Jumping into NZDJPY very quickly. So this one's working out nicely as well. So we've also posted this one on our TradingView account right here. So the idea was basically that if we get a nice break and a close above this barrier near the 69 level, so then yep, we will aim for higher levels. We got that. It's now higher. Now the thing is that we can also shift our stop loss here a little bit, and we could probably bring it somewhere towards the highs of the 15th of October. So and that would just kind of help us to protect ourselves in case this suddenly reverses, because if it starts dropping below the low of October here, the October 15th, let me just bring this one right here, there we go. If it starts it doesn't want to go there, so let me just adjust this, guys, very quickly. Up. Okay, roughly, basically, guys, this is what I'm talking about. So this is the level that we need, around 68.80. So if we see a drop below this, then yep, this in a way could start coming down again, maybe correcting back to the downside towards this upside support line. Tentative, of course, a bit of a, but nevertheless, I could test that one. But again, like I said, that's why we're going to be very careful here. For now, we are aiming for the 69.70 territory. Let's see how this is going to play out, but like I said, we'll kind of make our stop loss a little bit lower, given that it has moved higher here in our direction. AUDUSD. Haven't looked at this one since Monday. This is what I was talking about on my Monday's video about AUDUSD. So we were still hanging around here somewhere, and basically what I was saying, that we may see this one drifting a little bit lower. If it struggles to drop below the upside line, yes, we could see this one curving back up. We did get a curve. We did get a break, of course, of the upside line, but this is the thing, that for the downside, I was talking about this level right here. So we needed a nice good clear drop below the 0.6719 zone, 1920 area, approximately around there. So we never got that break, and you can see that this drop here below this little short-term tentative upside line eventually was somewhat of a false breakout, especially on a daily chart. You can see that clearly here. So that's why, guys, it's very useful to have a look at all daily charts all the time, especially at the end of the day, see where the how the candle is shaping up, and that's why even though we did have that break, we never got our drop below the 0.6719. So in a way, this quickly reversed back to the upside and traveled higher, traveled towards our initial targets near the 0.6808 zone, overshot it, and now the pair is currently balancing just slightly below the 0.6839 zone, approximately around here. So in a way, this is basically the high of yesterday. And in order for us to aim for higher levels, ideally we would like to see a push above this level here. This would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could then aim for much higher, or should I say, I wouldn't say much higher levels, but for some higher levels. Initially, we will target the 0.6870 area, but a slightly better area of resistance could be seen around the 0.69 zone, approximately around here, guys. So keep your eyes on this one. Quite an interesting pair, quite interesting developments. Don't get me wrong. Also, from the technical patterns perspective, you can see that we are forming somewhat of a flag here, a bullish flag. We do have our pole, but again, before we could consider this as a flag, we need to see a push above this 0.6839 zone, and only then we could aim for higher levels. So that's why, yes, we are kind of, it is still somewhat more bullish than bearish, but we need that confirmation break. In terms of the downside, if this suddenly slides back down here, below the 0.6808 zone, then yes, we will aim for again for this upside support line, just to see what it wants to do with it again. So but again, like I said, we need to see a drop below the 0.6808 zone first. GBPNZD, so I looked at this one recently as well, and basically what I was saying that especially yesterday, or no, on Wednesday I was saying that this, if we see yesterday in the morning I was saying about this correction. We got our correction. We failed to stay above the 2.0474 zone, and then it reversed and started selling off. Of course, it's all now headline driven. Any British pair is headline driven for now. The only thing is I really strongly suggest and recommend, guys, is if you're trading the pound or any pound pair today, try to close your position before the weekend. Of course, if you're following the news, you understand that we do have the Parliament vote on Saturday, and so basically on Monday we could see a bit of a gap maybe. Of course, this is just a suggestion. This is just an idea. We might not see a gap, but just to be on the safe side, I rather suggest you close all your pound pairs if you do have any before the end of Friday today. So looking at this picture here, yes, we've drifted below the 2.02 area, and of course the pair is correcting a little bit to the upside right now, but it's below its 21 EMA. So basically, in a way, it has a bit more chances for this one to drift lower. Maybe we could see a test of the psychological 2 zone, which is around the 50 EMA here near this red line. And as I've showed you yesterday, let me just bring this one up very quickly. As I showed you yesterday, if we look at the Fibonacci retracement levels here, then we've managed to drop below the 23.6. We could be aiming for the psychological 2 zone, as I said. Sorry, initially we'll aim for this 0.382% here on the Fibonacci, and then of course for that psychological 2 zone. We do have a strong area of support here near this near the 50% Fibonacci retracement, which is around the currently around the 1.9930-31 zone. So could be a nice area to watch as well, but slightly below that we do have another good potential target near the just around the 1.99 zone. So that's why, guys, for now, yes, we could be seeing this one drifting a little bit lower, but if it does move lower, we will only aim for the psychological 2 zone first, and then we'll take it from there, see what he wants to do. If it starts dropping below the 2, this could lead the pair even further down towards some of these lower levels. In terms of the upside, for us to get comfortable with higher levels, we need to see a push above the 2.0474 zone here, or even ideally a push above this week's high near the 2.04 2.560 zone, approximately around here. This way the pair would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could aim for higher levels like the 2.07 or even above that. And the last pair for this session is going to be euro dollar. So I talked about this one, and I was telling you guys yesterday on my Traders Tea Time to keep an eye on this level here, the 1.1110 zone. So what I was saying, that if we see the rate staying above it, if we see daily candle closing above this level, then we could see a bit of a drift higher, and this time the 1.1110 could be acting as a nice area of support. So hence the arrow drawn like this. So in a way, for now, that's going to be our main scenario, where we're gonna we're gonna aim for the 1.1110. We'll see how it performs around here. This is where the today's pivot point is, and if it reverses from here, if it holds, if it rebounds nicely, then we could aim for higher levels. We'll initially we'll aim for the high of last week near the the high of yesterday near the 1.1140. But if that gets overshot, the next potential strong area of resistance could be seen around here near the 1.1163 zone. So 63, 64, something like that. So which, as you can see, acted as a fantastic area of resistance back here on the 31st of July, also as resistance on the 25th of August. But at the same time, it acted as a good area of support back here on the 12th of August. So that's why, guys, for now, that's going to be our target. Especially if we see a nice rebound from this 1.1110. If this 1.1110 surrenders, and if we see a drop lower, for us to consider the downside at this point right now, we will probably lift our breakout point here towards this area near the 1.1085, because a drop below this would also place the rate below the 21 EMA, and we could target our little short-term upside support line. So yep, and then we'll take it from there. See what he wants to do. If he wants to rebound, wonderful. If it doesn't, then the bears could be enjoying this moment. But again, for now, like I said, keep an eye on these two levels for today. Also, a suggestion to try to close your positions before the end of Friday, guys. So, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I do apologize for some technical issues if we had any. I hope you're going to join me later on at my Traders Tea Time. We do have a relatively quiet day in terms of economic data releases. But again, the Brexit issue, and we do have the second day of the EU summit going on. So a lot of probably headlines could be coming out of that one. So keep your eyes on the British pound pairs, and yep, we'll go from there. And like I said, don't forget to close your positions before the end of Friday. Thank you very much for listening and watching and tuning in, and I'll see you later on at my Traders Tea Time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.